Hi, welcome to another episode of Unboxing Entrepreneurship with Pallavi. Hiring and retaining employees is a challenge that all companies face. But with small businesses, this challenge becomes much greater. So today I'm going to talk to Srikanth, who's the CEO of Needs. We are going to talk about his experience with hiring and retaining employees. Let's get right into it. Hi, Srikanth. Welcome to Unboxing Entrepreneurship.
Hi, Pallavi. Great to be here. Hope you're doing awesome.
I am. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining today. We are going to talk about hiring, which I have not touched before. But, before we get into that, why don't you tell us about yourself and your company?
All right. So I'm Srikanth Acharya. I'm a very passionate entrepreneur, avid learner, and an enthusiastic traveler. That's how I'd put it. I am the co-founder and CEO at a company called offineeds.com. Offineeds is a leading corporate gifting and custom merchandise company headquartered in Bangalore. We have offices in Hyderabad, Chennai, and in Pune and Mumbai. And we've been in business for about 18 plus years. I have a team size of about 130 employees, and we are bootstrapped and profitable and having fun doing what we're doing. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. So bootstrapped and profitable in one sentence is very heartening to hear.
I think the chances of you staying profitable are higher if you're bootstrapped.
Yes, that is true. And I hope that more people realize it because, funded seems to be the buzzword. Anyway, having said that, so, why I reached out to you was because you did a really great post on LinkedIn and you spoke about some of the hiring challenges that you face and, what you did to kind of mitigate the risk of hiring, as a small business. What really struck me was when I was looking at your company, and what really struck me was that you have been an entrepreneur for 18 years and you're still writing about hiring challenges. And I felt like that would be a conversation to have. I'm sure there are other companies as well who face challenges with hiring. I'm sure there are people who, join companies and then realize that it's not the right job for them and they leave. And I'm sure that happens quite a fair bit. But as we were talking before, with growing businesses, bootstrap companies, probably the hit is much greater because every employee is a person. It's not a resource, right? They're not just numbers to get added to the company. Every employee of a small business brings with them a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of new energy, and that's what you're looking forward to as a CEO. So perhaps maybe you can tell me what are the challenges that you have faced personally and what, as a corporate gifting company, maybe you have seen other companies facing.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you bring about, and it's very relevant as well, irrespective of the size, the geography, or the sector of business you're in. You are likely to be facing people issues, either recruiting issues or retention issues. These are among the top challenges that every entrepreneur of every size faces. Now, if you think about why that happens, is because of and if you think about it, right, you meet any entrepreneur, he says, hey, we just can't find the kind of right people. But you think about it, every year there are, I don't know, lakhs of students graduating out of college, and you talk about unemployment issues. So why is the gap really there? So that is something which needs to be understood. And I think the gap really exists because we are not willing to put in the kind of effort and bring in the kind of clarity that is required to be able to hire right. Large organizations have professional HR teams, and they do it for them. Like you said, it's a number. There are hundreds of people coming in, hundreds of people going, and things like that. But for smaller organizations, the generally smaller organizations put in effort into marketing, customer acquisition, customer retention, but not the same level of importance and effort is put in hiring teams. But I want to say this to any business owner who's listening, that hiring and retention is a full-time job. Just as you're networking, you're seeking out prospective clients, you should also be seeking out prospective employees. You should have the knack to identify talent when you see it, network, not just to acquire customers, but to acquire employees as well. So that is something which entrepreneurs should train themselves to be able to find. I mean, I've found prospective employees and employees in really, really unique places. In holidays that I've gone on, I found people, and at clients' places, I found people. At in colleges, I found people. So you should always have your hiring antenna on, is what I would say. And the other thing which I think small business owners fail to understand is that there is a recruitment funnel that exists, right? Generally, we don't understand that. We say, hey, I'm looking to hire only one person. So, kisi ko bhi pakdo usme, chacha ka beta, some reference I got through, and a good employee gave a reference, then he must be equally good too. But we don't understand that hiring goes through a funnel. We expect that I need to fulfill this position. I need that guy tomorrow. So I need to catch hold of somebody and fill that position up, right? And that approach usually fails because you're not doing an interview process. You're not doing a proper thorough check whether the skill sets that match that particular role or not. So we need to understand the funnel. What do I mean by the funnel? When I say funnel, I mean if you want to fulfill one position, I mean, today the dropout rates are 50%. That means you make an offer letter to somebody, there is a 50-50 chance that they will show up or they will not show up, right? So if possible, make two offers, right? Two concrete offers. And, best case, or I don't know, you should call it worst case scenario, both of them show up. Can you hire them? If you can, then make two offers. If not, you can't take that choice. They can't take that chance. So that means if you want to hire two people, you need to do at least 5 good final round of interviews. And if you need to do 5 good interviews, you need to have 10 people showing up for the first level of interviews at least, and 10 people have to show up. At least 20 to 30 people should commit to showing up for interviews. If you have to have that, you need to at least shortlist 50 candidates whose resumes you like, and for that you need at least 100 to 150 resumes you need to go through, 100 and 150 resumes that need to apply. Now we understand this funnel in the marketing, in the sales side. Every customer, every lead does not convert to business, but we don't understand it on the recruitment side. And I think that is where things go wrong, and when somebody, usually in MSME businesses, when the recruitment process is happening, the owner also wants to hire quickly, and the guy who's coming for the interview also wants the job, so he will say yes to anything that's there. And it starts off like that, and after a few months it's like, this is not working, and it leaves a sour taste in the mouths of both the employee as well as the employer.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that the funnel is something that I have learned the hard way. I've been trying to hire for the last 6-7 months, and I hired the right person, and then that person developed some challenges, so they had to leave. So it was quite difficult, firstly, to hire the right person, because you don't just want the skills. At that stage, you also want the mindset. You also want them to be comfortable with whatever setup you have. So in my case, I have a remote setup, and people should be able to adapt to working very efficiently remotely. And I'm sure that whatever setup you have, you want employees who can come in and start delivering and are more comfortable from day one rather than going through a learning curve of that. So I think, yes, the funnel thing is something that you have said, which is very right. I also see that, with the remote setup, there are a lot more expectations and challenges that we as founders have to deal with now, that perhaps we were not dealing with 2.5 years ago. There are a lot of expectations that you have to discuss. There's a lot of negotiation on quite a few things. But, that is something that we have to be mindful about. You talked about, having employees joining you, and then perhaps they're not so motivated. So let's assume that your recruitment process is now a little bit more efficient, and you've developed a clear process where you're shortlisting candidates the right way. What else do you think a company needs to do once the employee has joined? I mean, shouldn't they come and start delivering from day one? Isn't that where your responsibility kind of ends? They should just enjoy the work that you've given them.
That would be a dream come true, but dreams rarely come true unless you work really hard for them, right? So let's be realistic here, right? The people who are coming for jobs, it's a 9-to-5 job for them. Okay. And anybody in your family also, if somebody is saying, hey, I'm looking for a job, it's highly likely that you're going to tell them, hey, take a break on Saturday, Sunday, don't work so long. There is a difference between being an entrepreneur and being an employee. And if that employee wants to be an entrepreneur, he'll be an entrepreneur, right? Why would he deliver at that level and be so committed when he or she is an employee? That is something which needs to be understood. You need to be realistic with expectations when you hire an employee. And it's whatever the role, whatever their experience, it's highly, highly unlikely that they will be able to start delivering from day one. I say this, that your job doesn't end once you hire somebody, your job starts once you hire somebody, right? So hire someone, and the onboarding process has to be like really good. And I would say the onboarding process starts even before that person shows up, especially in MSME businesses. If you want to increase the chances of that person showing up, the interview process has to be interesting. Both the parties should feel like, hey, this is a role that seems like it was made for me. And if you do enough interviews, you'll find that person. Like even for the toughest roles, you may have to interview more candidates, but you'll find somebody who's like, wow, this is exactly what I want to do, right? And once you find that, to increase the chances of them actually showing up, you need to keep them engaged. If they have a notice period of 15 to 30 days or something, or if they say, hey, I'm going to join next month or something, you need to make sure you're staying engaged with them. And one way that I would suggest is give them like a micro assignment, saying, hey, this is okay, but till you join, do you think you can spend 30 minutes a day, or can you work on this particular assignment, so that it's a real assignment? It's kind of a teaser of what you will be doing. So it will do 2-3 things. One, people will say all kinds of things in interviews, right? But you'll get an idea whether you made the right choice, or movie is going to be as good as the trailer or not, right? So you can keep them engaged. You will know through that engagement whether they're going to show up, whether they are good, how much more effort it's going to take you to bring them up to the level that you want, and things like that. So once they show up, as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, your real work starts now. Okay. Because once they show up, they've come. That is they've come lock, stock, and barrel, let's say, right? From there, getting them up to what you want is totally your responsibility. So the onboarding process, the first part is, getting them aligned to what this business is about, helping them understand the business, helping them familiarize with the teams, helping them familiarize with the policies, helping them understand what is expected of them, the leave policies, how to apply for attendance, what is how to apply for leaves, all of these kind of basic things, right? How do they survive day to day? You generally see that when an employee joins an organization, it's highly likely that that person is sitting in the corner all by himself, and the existing employees are probably doing something on their own. If that happens, that is a red flag. You need to make sure that that person is becoming an integral part of the team as quickly as possible. So that onboarding process is not just one 1 or 2 hours with that employee. That is very, very vital, very, very important. But I would say the first 3 months are the honeymoon period. It's the testing phase. So first three months, don't expect miracles. The first 3 months is just setting the foundation, and which is why it's important to plan your hiring better. You don't say that I need somebody from tomorrow and I need to hire. That's not how it's done. You need to be able to plan, saying, okay, my plan for the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months is this. And that's how I need people with these kind of skills. And I hire them and give them training for 3 months, 6 months, and slowly they will keep getting better with time. And this is something, the returns will come in a compounded form. The first 3-6 months, they'll give you some results, which is okay. The next 6 months, they get better. The 1 year later, they're getting really good. So you need to plan, saying, my average retention, the number of years an employee will be with my team is for 3 years or 6 years or something. And this is the kind of growth. And the first year, invest into time, money, your effort into delivering so much value to them that they become good. And especially in some small organizations, we should not look at employees as, like you said, they're not just a resource, they're really people, right? So become friends with them. Make sure think about it, okay? They're coming to grow their career. They're not coming to grow your company, right? And both of these have to be a win-win situation. They have to grow their career, and what they do has to help you grow the organization. And these have to happen simultaneously. And as an owner mindset, typically, if you say, how can I squeeze the maximum work out of this employee, it's going to fail. Instead, if you're going to say, hey, let me help this person excel, let me help this person become better, let me help this person deliver at his best, let me help this person become the best version they can, right? Let me help them grow their career, and automatically they will deliver their best. So that mindset shift which is there is going to improve retention. It is going to lead to job satisfaction. And the person says, hey, this is unique. All the other companies that I've worked, my bosses have been looking at squeezing work out of me, but here I have a boss who is really interested, who's helping me become a better person. and it's likely that if it's a fair transaction, if that approach is fair, that person is going to stay for a long time. But expecting somebody to be able to perform from day one is not going to happen. You need to get really, really lucky if that has to happen. But I don't think that is a sustainable approach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've hit the nail on the head when you talked about how entrepreneurs think that everyone is as motivated as them and as involved in the company as them. And we forget how we were as employees, right? We didn't really understand the business, and we didn't understand the business goals, and we were not interested in all the business goals, right? We probably were interested in some. So I think that is something that an entrepreneur must always remember. The second thing that I really liked that you were talking about is an extension of what we said, that the employee is a person, not a resource. I think that as small businesses, we have the advantage, we have the opportunity to actually get involved in our employees' lives, right? It's about building a friendly relationship with each of them and sitting down with them and understanding why they have joined this company, because joining a smaller company, let's face it, is a risk for them. But why they have joined the company, what do they hope to achieve out of this entire relationship, and how you as a company can help them achieve it, with the result of obviously getting your company to do better as well. So I think that is the human side is something that we have to remember. As involved as we are in our company, as motivated and emotional we are about our company, we have to be equally involved with our employees. So I really like that. Just to close this off, do you have any final tips and comments for other founders out there who are facing a hiring challenge?
Yeah, I would say what you give is what you get, right? So be fair with what you give to your team. If you pay peanuts, you'll only get monkeys. So don't think of team recruitment as an expense. Think of it as an investment. You wouldn't think twice if you had to invest in infrastructure, because you'd say, hey, this machine or this office or this factory is going to give me returns over the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Please think like that. Don't think of this as a month-to-month expense. Invest into your human resource, into your team, and show a lot of interest in their growth, right? There's this philosophy that I believe, I don't know, I came across this somewhere. Don't use your teams to grow your business. Use your business to grow your team, and they will automatically grow the business in return. So I would say most of the mechanical work that earlier we used to hire employees for, right? Operating a machine and all of those kind of things are getting automated. Now you're hiring teams to do intelligent work. You're expecting them to bring their heart, mind, and soul to the office and bring their energy and deliver. It's not about mechanical things that are being done anymore, right? So given that, you need them to be excited about what you're doing. And for that to happen, you need to kind of build a partnership. You need to create a win-win situation. You need to think in their interest. And that's when you're going to crack the hiring and recruitment and retention goal, is what I would say.
Absolutely. And I believe you're doing something in the retention space specifically as well, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of things. So I have started an initiative called Employee Engagement Academy, where we create content, courses, community, consulting, conferences, and connections to help business owners and HR leaders to be able to recruit and retain better, basically engage with their existing teams and employees better. And we've created a interesting framework on how they could be doing it across the employee life cycle. Very excited about that. We're seeing great results already. So thanks for bringing that up.
No worries, and I wish you all the best for that. I think it's for a great cause, and anything that helps employees and employers get connected better, I think that is great for us and for the economy as well. So thank you so much, Srikanth, for coming on the show and sharing your thoughts, both from your experience and of course from your company's perspective. I really enjoyed this conversation. As I said, I related to a lot of the things that you said, and I hope the audience is equally excited and can take away as many insights as I took away.
Awesome. It was great fun speaking to you, Pallavi. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you for having me here.
Thanks. Bye.